Oh, okay. I don't hear you in the stream.
You will in a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, you have a delay.
All right, so let's test this, see how this is. I'm probably gonna bring the audio down to about here. And Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, SammyMiami?
Not bad, not bad. Just excited to see how this game with the team Shake and Bake versus Izanami is going to go. I am excited, very enthusiastic to see how the team has played thus far, and the honestly just the power that goes with them as they are playing. And just you can definitely sense it in the comms. They definitely have a lot of spirit in them, and I'd like to see that just continue to grow as we go.
Absolutely. This is a tight-knit team that's been playing together for a long time. They're coming off a big win last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess. They had a bye last week. So in this fourth round of the Esports Summer Showdown, looking for a really good match here, hopefully.
That would be awesome. And if I remember correctly, I think you and I were on the team once before. And what was your position for the team?
Very true. I still fill in on tank from time to time, but I'm just like a sub. Yeah, we used to be the ultimate tank duo, me and you.
Yes, we did. We did. Those were good old days. Except
I know.
Overwatch decided to close it down on us and completely remove the fun of duo tanking. Because not gonna lie, your Zarya, my Ryan, we were pretty boss. Not gonna lie.
Unbeatable, literally unbeatable.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were. So right now we're still in a waiting to see how things. We're just kind of waiting for the lobby to get set up here so we can get in, and hopefully we can, get this thing going here shortly.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's a best of first to three competition, and it's a single elimination. So with Shake and Bake in the losers bracket right now, working their way back up. They need a win here to keep going. So
Well,
hoping for a good match.
we will definitely be hoping for a win from them. Definitely.
Now on Shake and Bake, who do you see being the playmaker of this match? We've got Grong on tank, we've got Storm and SwaggerSaur on DPS, we have Fury and Sheprime on support. Who are you looking to make the plays in this match?
It's really hard because there's just a really amazing group of people that are on the team of Shake and Bake, and that might be me being biased, if you will. But bias aside, I would tend to say, you and I know very well that a tank with a good team behind it really can just be unstoppable. But on that same note, when you have playmakers such as SwaggerSaur and Storm, honestly, like Storm is one of the original players of the team, and honestly, he just has never ceased to amaze us. Whenever there's a pick that's needed, last week when there was a headshot to a Sombra that had just shown up, like I mean, it was just powerful. Just whenever it was needed, Storm was there to just completely take over and show them who was boss. And so it can go either way. I'm gonna say SwaggerSaur for this game.
All right. And
How
I'm
about
gonna
you?
go with the king. I'm gonna go with the king of dinks. I'm gonna go with Storm. I think he's gonna hit some nasty headshots in these poke comps that they run. But I do think, as you were saying, having a strong tank like Grong to helm the team is very important.
Indeed, indeed. Hold on a second. My bit rate was dropping down very high there. I might want to turn my stream off of me spectating. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Well, either way, we're still in the setup. How did the audio levels seem to be for you?
Oh, they sounded good. They sounded good. Yeah. as good as they can.
Cool. All right, so we are looking good still. I'm gonna shut that off. See how we get started here. See,
Yeah,
that's
we're
just
still
like
waiting for the light, so.
that's like the beauty of commentating, especially when you just have people here. It's just easy to have a nice little friendly conversation back and forth, and maybe go a little more official with your voice. But it's fun. Honestly, it's definitely fun.
Solo casting is very challenging. There's a reason that was Vin Scully's like the only person who, well, I feel like, and he was 60-year veteran of Major League Baseball.
True. No,
Yeah.
they don't make them like they used to anymore.
No, they do not. If Vin Scully casting a Overwatch game would be amazing.
I should get my friend from the Overwatch League now. I don't know if you were aware, but our streamer friend Rich Rad actually made it to Overwatch League. So he actually got to be one of the faces on the desk, and seeing him succeed after 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 or 7 years of just constant grind, working to be a streamer or a casting voice for Overwatch. Really awesome to see it happen, even though I feel like Overwatch is kind of on its last legs right now, with as far as like really just making some poor choices in the back section of the Blizzard Studios. But honestly, the fan base is really what still keeps this company together and what keeps the game going. And it's places like this with the what is the name of the server that's running this? I forgot.
Oh, the International Overwatch League.
The International Overwatch League. Yeah, with them,
Yeah.
it's just kind of cool to see uh people like them set stuff up and get things moving, and honestly keep things rolling. UGC, who has been doing it for several years now, they've been a pillar to the Overwatch League, or to the Overwatch competitive scene, and it's just really cool to see them just keep going and keep trying.
There's a very devoted fan base to this game. As much as they're abused, they will. There's a portion of them that will stick through it, through thick and thin. So it really is a shame what is being done with this diamond of an intellectual property. But I never thought I'd be hoping for a giant mega conglomerate to absorb a billion-dollar video game company. But as long as Bobby Kotick's in charge, I think this game's going to be a piece of shit for the indefinite future. So fuck that guy. I hope he dies, and I look forward to a Microsoft version of Overwatch. Believe it or not, as stupid as that sounds, that's how bad Bobby Kotick is. Fuck Bobby Kotick.
Oh my goodness, that's great. Is this turning off? That's interesting. Dismiss. Alright, I don't think that we are in games yet. I think we're still waiting to see how this goes.
It was supposed to start at 8 Eastern, right? We're not crazy.
Nope, but it's, this is the International Overwatch League. They aren't exactly known for getting everybody together on time, and hopefully it doesn't turn into a forfeit, because that would be kind of rough.
It's boring streaming, just sitting on a menu. So
yeah, pretty much.
Vamos esculachar! Rumor has it, I'm a savage. Drop the class. Apagando las luces. Drop the class. Too established. That's the magic. It's automatic. Got a magic. Who was that? Living legend. Meet the record. Mastermind. Never tired. Tell them all. Big dreams, I got big dreams just like baby. I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Play with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it out this earth. Where's your worth? I'm sick of you talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. I'm ahead time, the red time. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, master, big time.
What is up, you beautiful people? Welcome to Shake and Bake versus Izanami's team. I am SammyMiami, co-founder of Shake and Bake Esports, and I have with me MyDadDotCom, who's going to help me cast tonight. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Ready to see my team kick another team's butt and send them to the, back home, but you know what?
Shadow Realm.
I'm ready
it's the
to
losers
see them
bracket of the Internet Overwatch League Summer Showdown.
Indeed. But I'm just excited to see two teams play together and just have a good time. Honestly, I want to see people have a good time and look forward to doing this again. Definitely.
For sure. Yeah, it's Shake and Bake looking to capitalize off their last win, moving into this round, and this is single elimination, so they got to win this one too. Keep moving their way up the losers bracket and make their way back to the finals. That's the goal.
Indeed. So there is no technical loser for this. You're just done.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's 3 strikes and you're out. But except
just a
we
quick
don't have
turn.
3 strikes.
2 strikes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we had talked about this earlier on the prep and warm up for the stream, but we have Grong, Storm, SwaggerSaur, Fury, and Sheprime on the team. Who do you think to be the playmaker or the person to watch out for this match on the team of Shake and Bake?
Sure. Yeah. I think they're all strong players in their own right, and they play together very well. But I'm really gonna go with Sir Dink, the king of the swoosh, the Hanzo extraordinaire Storm. Tends to come up in clutch moments with a nice dink that turns the fights around. So I'm expecting a lot from him, especially in these poke comps that they're running when they can't play something brawlier. They really seem to stand out with their long range damage, and Storm's a big part of that.
Indeed. Seeing the energy that he brought last week during the game, really cool to see just the excitement, the energy that Storm brings to the team. I'm gonna have to kind of double back with you on that, but also I want to give some credit to SwaggerSaur. SwaggerSaur's been getting some nasty picks as well. Storm has a tendency to be that person when you need a pick, it's just out of thin air, he just comes and just pops out and gets that kill that you need. But SwaggerSaur is just that consistent one that is always getting a kill, trying to get things kept in the motion for Shake and Bake. But on the same note, and to our chat's credit, we can't forget Grong. Grong is the body of this entire team. Without Grong, it is difficult to play.
Very true. Yeah, he is a leader and a strong tank player, and he definitely adds a lot to this team, and definitely their coordination has just improved exponentially over the past year, and really seem to be very, very strong going into this match.
Indeed. And we can't forget our supports either. Fury and Sheprime. Just honestly, it's one of those things where, if you can have good DPS, you can have good tank, but if you don't have support to keep you back, to hold your back up and keep you alive, it is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
Very true.
Just
We like
keep
to
moving.
we like to say that supports have big egos, but they do for a reason because they really have to keep the team alive, and it takes a big ego and a big mechanical skill to do that sometimes, especially when you got aggressive tanks that they're very thirsty for heals. Let's put it that way.
Agreed.
Now our first map here, Esperanca, one of 3 push maps. I believe a favorite of Shake and Bake, but a favorite of mine as well. I think probably out of all the push maps, it's the only one that I enjoy the design of.
Agreed. We got Grong on the Zarya, Storm on the Genji, SwaggerSaur on the McCree or the Cassidy. Then we have Aaron or Fury on Kiriko, and then we have Sheprime as the pin of this as a Lucio to help get yourself moved around the point and stay out of danger as well.
For that Accelerando.
Exactly.
Enemy team running a Rhine comp with Reaper, Bastion, Junkrat. Early pick from KD Honors on SwaggerSaurus, but Grong answers back with a pick of his own.
Going straight into this, honestly, putting a lot of pressure. They don't have that shield breaker damage with the the Junkrat, but honestly, this Reinhardt's being very aggressive into the back line, and they just need to honestly pick somebody and focus him. But he's gonna die to it.
That's a huge kill right there. Yeah. Alright, so they're 4-3 right now, and Swag's probably getting back, so we're looking at a full strength fight. Reaper very low on a full charge. Zarya just melts there, and they fall like dominoes. Lucio's the only one left, and that's a team kill. First very long fight won by Shake and Bake.
It was good, and honestly, Shake and Bake played it really well in, really trying to be patient and not jumping into it. But I will say the Reinhardt really got aggressive and pushed into an area that he was not ready to take over. He didn't have his Junkrat, so he couldn't get a whole lot of pressure out. So it's good to see Shake and Bake be very patient with it and take the fight when it was necessary.
These are smart positionings here. Great cleanse there. Great cleanse there by Fury, got him out of the fight, yeah.
But honestly, like something like that, when a Reinhardt charges, it's really difficult to not lose somebody on a...
Very true.
Oh, and a nice early grab. But
contentious grab there. It might stabilize the fight, but yeah. All right, and
reset.
overcommitted there, yeah.
The barricade is on the move.
Right, so as more ults come online, though, we have the majority of the other ults coming up now, and we even kind of wasted grab a bit there, but looking for a Blade or a Kitsune Rush coming up in this next fight here, hopefully to counter some of the enemy team's fight.
And with the history that you have with the teams, are you likely to see any combos with this comp, or just more so just playing off of one
you might get a Cass and Grav combo if it might necessarily help, and there goes the Tire coming out, getting 2 kills, so Shake and Bake backing up off this fight.
And only ult coming out for Shake and Bake on that one was Kitsune Rush, so not a bad use there, and I think it was a Shatter and a Junkrat Tire that went out on that one, so not that's a good ult usage of 1 to their 2.
Yep. And Izanami has managed to cap forward spawn. Big kill on the tank there. High Noon is out. Big picks, and looks like they're going to win this fight.
Nice cleanup and pressure by Storm on the supports.
Yeah, only one ult to turn that fight around, too, so that's great. They're going into this next fight with 3 ults. And one of them is beat, which is very strong. Against Window, maybe?
Indeed.
We'll see.
And then we also have Blade. Yeah, we got the Blade coming up, and we've got the beat. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Oh,
yeah, big grab's going to be important here. Yeah. See if the lamp comes out, and a counter. Oh, Reaper just gets an amazing Q in the back line. Takes out 3 of the 5 players, and that is over quick.
Exactly.
Rise and shine.
believe that was 2 ultimates by Shake and Bake.
Another battlefield.
Grav with the blade, and then that was the Reaper. So a nice little trade there where Shake and Bake did had 1 to their 2, and then that was their 1 to our 2. So, you know.
Yeah, they're changing up the comp here now. They're moving to something a little more brawly. It's a little more direct damage, maybe. The Rhine and the Mei replacing the Zarya and the Genji. Oh, big pick on the BAP there. Both Rhines down. We'll see who dies first. There goes Grong is out now, so it's an even match, except they're up a tank. Here comes Beat. Big kill on the Reaper, and they're down to 2. Rhine dies, and oh, Storm falls too, but it looks like this fight will be won by Shake and Bake.
We'll get you where you need to go.
It's definitely one of those things where once the main tank just falls, it's really difficult to keep it up unless you just throw an ultimate out to just hold, you know, just kind of keep the team pacing going. And even then, that's a gamble because you don't know if there's going to be an Ana Sleep Dart that comes out of there to keep you from getting any benefit out of that.
Very true. Yeah, with the single tank this game, it's so essential now. If you lose your tank, you pretty much are guaranteed. You have a very strong chance of losing the fight. And there comes out Wall behind. Both Rhine shields very low here. There's a lot of damage on both teams.
Oh, the team's rotating. Nice block on the Shatter.
Huge block. Yeah, Izanami making the rotation, but they fall quickly. Great window there. They took out the tank immediately.
Quick.
Reinhardt's going to fall now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. 4-3 fight. He builds Shatter in that fight, so he has it for the next one, and that's a win. They continue pushing, and hopefully can make up some ground here.
And honestly, you know, I kind of turned my eye over to Sheprime on that one. Sheprime actually came out of nowhere, booped the team over towards the stairs there, and really just set it up for Grong to just swing and just rake in the damage. So, really excited about it.
A good Lucio adjusting the positioning of the enemy team really makes a huge difference. And Storm, here comes Storm Arrow. I'm sorry, Dragon rather. Yeah, yep. Creates a ton of space, and Grong just going crazy. Great wall there by
huge
wall there by SwaggerSaur. And that's another team kill, and they are likely to take the lead in between fights here. Really big turnaround with 3.5 minutes to go. We'll be looking to see a freeze coming out here soon, I imagine, from SwaggerSaur, and I think we're going to see a tire come out from the enemies, from Izanami.
And are they up a Reinhardt Shatter right now? Because I think they're about due for one.
It's a good question. There comes Tire, and manages to take out both DPS. So, Shake and Bake looks to retreat. And
at least they took the lead there. That's actually good. Honestly,
huge,
the benefit out of that, the fact that they were able to take the lead, and honestly, even if it just goes back and forth on fights right now, it's perfect for them because they need to be able to have the winning hand on this. It's easy to, you know, clear them and take them off of the point. They cannot let them take any more space. They have to. Have to cancel this.
Yeah. Card push is so important on these fights, especially if you don't manage to gain card lead. Oh, huge Shatter behind the team, even with a pin. And Freeze is out too, and that is going to win the fight. Reaper tries an ult, but I think it's in vain. And with Reaper only left,
if you hadn't noticed.
There you go. All right, so as we pass the 2-minute mark, they've taken control back. They have Window and Beat now again. And yeah, it's looking like really strong here. They have to win 2 fights,
or at least be able to swing back and forth on a couple.
Yeah. This fight is crucial. If they can win this one, they will be in a great position to win this. And Window comes out. Enemy team uses Beat and Lamp.
And they bring in a Bastion too.
Sure.
Bastion goes down to Aaron.
Be a huge pick there on the Bastion. You know, Bastion to me is a sign of fear in these Overwatch comps. Junk's so low in the background. Oh, really tried to block that. Oh, Ryan is low, and it looks like they're going to turn this fight around now, as Gron just swings his head off.
that was honestly something pretty amazing. I'm spectating from Aaron at the moment, and to watch her get shattered, and then all of a sudden, Grong just literally protect the president. Okay, literally went in there and just kept the Reinhardt from being able to capitalize off of that shatter that he had. Really great plays by Grong on that one.
Absolutely, putting in a load of damage too. He builds 3/4 of his ult in one fight after using his shatter. Wall comes out, barely misses the Reinhardt, and now they are in a really solid position to win this. And both Rhines down. We got Freeze coming online, and it uses it immediately. That's going to be huge. Rhine trapped by the wall, and Window comes out here. Lamp comes out here. And they all fall slowly, still holding onto that shatter for the last second if he needs it. As we tick past the 15-second mark, this match is almost over.
Right now they need to spread, so there's not a chance. Oh, bomb is down.
Huge.
Bomb is down.
Yeah, they broke the tire. Big
Shatter.
shatter on the Rhine. Follows up on the Lucio, and this one is, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say over. Junkrat on point alone. Farah's left on point, and they're managing to recontest. We're going to get one more fight out of this, as it turns out.
Stop them, and it's over.
And honestly, you know, we have the beat coming out from Sheprime and, you know, Storm's Dragon. All it needs is 1 second off of the point at this point. You know, the later that this round goes, the worse it's going to get for Izanami.
And it's going to be really important for Shake and Bake to group up here and take a fight as full-strength team. They got plenty of time. And as the payload crosses the center point again, they look to re-engage. Now, where they take this fight is going to be important too, as Izanami takes some pretty strong positions. Oh, Gron getting out, going after the. Oh, what a huge pick on the Junkrat there!
Honestly, but
yeah, the cart keeps moving, but they will take the next fight down one player. So. And there comes the dragon. Really well placed, actually.
Oh, and their BAP really has no idea what's going on.
Yep. Big pick there. Rhine is very low. Only BAP left now. And
that
they
is going to
close
be
it
a
down.
game for Shake and Bake here.
Oh, here comes the Junkrat back in. Desperation plays, but it's what you got to do.
Stay on them. We need that robot.
All right, a strong
that is
first
a good
win.
round for Shake and Bake.
They're really smart with their cart control on that map. They didn't let the enemy push too far, but they also didn't take any fights they knew they could lose. They backed up and they recontested when they needed to, and that really made a huge difference for card progress.
Indeed. Something else that has a tendency to happen is when you play solo queue, in some cases, where you have a tendency to have that lone wolf mentality, where you get an ultimate, you get a huge amount of picks. Sometimes that stylish, you know, win there can be a real downside to your team when you're not playing and using the ultimates and working together with it. With that play of the game where you have the, you know, the excitement, the destruction that dog turds use, it benefited them, but you know, as smelly as dog turds is, you know, it really stunk for them because they were not able to turn that into a win. And sometimes the showy plays can really get you, put you up a creek.
That's very true. Yeah, the team play is a whole different animal from solo queue, and you will not get value on an ultimate that you're using by yourself, with very few exceptions. So it's really important to time them correctly, to use them correctly, to save them when you need to, and use them early when you need to. And it's tough. Ult economy is what wins games for teams here.
Indeed. Honestly, I think I think when it comes to like who popped off the most on that game, I would say that honestly it felt like it was a whole group effort. You know, it really never felt like one particular person. You know, Grong, being the strong leader that he is, really took advantage of his team playing behind him, using their ultimates to hold and get to a point where they could like really take advantage of the games. So, you know, it's just exciting to see the team work together, play together, take the time, have the patience, have a leader like Grong, literally just pull back the reins and say, hold on guys, let's get together, let's group up, let's make this happen. So
Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Let's see.
Okay, now I can. There we go. Yeah,
Okay,
my
then.
headphones died.
Okay, I was gonna say you said it a little bit differently. I was like, what the heck was going on there?
Do I sound different right now?
Maybe a little bit, but not too much.
Okay.
Maybe not as clean, but I think you're fine.
Is that better?
Yes, way better.
Okay, cool. I think I was just on the wrong setting.
Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna go with King's Row. Shake and Bake is gonna defend first.
Yeah, that was their option. You like defending first. You know, you get to establish how little the enemy is pushing. It gives you a clear goal when you're on attack.
Indeed. And honestly, it feels like when you defend first and you hold them to that point, it really makes it feel so much easier to push past. Like when you literally have, like, say you do a first point hold, like our team had done last year or the year before on King's Row, which rarely happens, by the way.
No, yeah, the first point's pretty easy to take if you're aggressive.
Exactly. But, you know, once you have that initial hold and you're able to just really just like have a goal set in mind, it's so easy to get focused and say, all right guys, we've got to rally together, we've got to get to this point, we've got to make the payload move, and once we cross that finish line, we're in the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Carrying the momentum from a really strong defense into an offense is just something that's just like I think just helps morale. You know, you enter the second half of the fight with so much morale. Sorry, that it's hard not to win. You know, and
Moral
this comp
too.
running.
Moral too definitely helps.
Yeah, morals and morale. So we got Grong on the Rhyme, and we're 2 DPSer, Junkrat and May with Fury on the BAP, Sheprime on the Lucio. Standard rush brawl comp, and we have a Hanzo on the enemy team. It's like a similar comp. Ryan May, Lucio. Walls are going to be huge in this matchup.
Ooh, that's
Big
an
wall
out of
there
place
by
Reinhardt.
yeah, and they had to use lamp already, so they're gonna have to back up out of this fight. They're all very low. Capitalizing on this by pushing up would be smart right now if they can manage to get their heals together.
I think it gets amazing.
They use Ice Block, another great wall there.
Nice pick.
Huge pick. Lamp
SwaggerSaur.
comes out for Shake and Bake as they look to stabilize, and Ryan is 1 on the enemy team. Dog Turd's 1 health, and there goes Lamp. Ooh, big block on the shatter there by Dog Turds, but he is falling fast in health, and he's down.
Not sure that was a good choice to charge into a Reinhardt who just shattered, and you don't have anything to go off of.
Yeah, very true. All right, so with
Even
that
if it's-
fight won, Fury is going to have Window online here. We already have Tire, so there's going to be some big ults already online for Shake and Bake, while I think Izanami's going to be pretty lacking in ults at this fight.
Indeed. Shatter will be coming out, though, because it has been kind of a Rhine-only fight, kind of. But
That
we'll
is
see
true,
how this
but
goes.
yeah, and there comes Window. And Tire, they switched to Pharah now. Here comes out the beat now. So a lot of ults coming out on the side of Izanami.
Oh,
There comes another
Oh!
huge fire strike. Oh my god. And this is some cleanup now, I think. Grong has
Somebody
another
honestly
shatter.
get a fire hydrant pointed at Grong right now, because, like, oh my gosh. Whew.
He's absolutely dominating these fights. He's built another shatter already. And this is just a very one-sided battle right now. Switching to the
honestly-
pharmacy to try and get some angles on some, since there's no hit scan on the Shake and Bake team. But I think they'll be surprised. Fury might pull him out of the sky.
To say, between that and the icicles that have a tendency to just find heads, It's
Sure.
very possible. Very, very possible.
Big shatter on the BAP,
Oh.
kills him before he dies, and ooh. Far ult comes out and she survives. That's rare. Oh, and she's dead. There comes the shatter from there, Ryan, and that's going to be big. That's going to possibly turn the fight. And very likely we see a cap here.
I like the hold here by Sheprime, trying to make sure that they don't get it too fast.
Hey, you know, it's a smart choice, you know, especially with this little time on the clock. You never know when you might be able to, but it's smart. Yeah, you gotta know when you're going to lead too. So if you're constantly staying around a point, you give them half of the second point if you're not careful.
Indeed, indeed. Izanami showing some aggression here, definitely trying to make sure that there's no chance of returning.
Definitely
Oh, and that is
huge
going
wall
to be
again. Yeah.
that's going to be difficult.
Heat comes in, and there's a second freeze. Both freezes come out, and I think we're going to see a standoff here. Sheprime falls to the Rhine in the back line. These walls by SwaggerSaur are just chef's kiss.
menacing.
Yeah.
That last one was a little
Constantly
bit
isolating.
disappointing because you know, the Reinhardt wasn't in front of it, but you know what? We'll forgive him for that one.
Sure. And another window from Fury comes out. That's her third window in what, 3 minutes?
She's the window making machine, honestly.
Seems like it. And wall for Izanami comes out. It's kind of a buck. And there's another great wall by SwaggerSaur that's just going to wipe out the enemy team with the positioning.
And there is the Ryan
Big pick by
diff
Gron.
there.
Yeah.
Rez coming
And they
out
use Valve
for
there. Yeah.
dog turds there. I don't know that I would have used that quite yet.
I think that's a waste. I think that's a waste of a Valve. That fight was over. It's good to have, you know, the tempo of your Ryan being back in the fight, but you're still waiting for some of your teammates to come back.
Yeah, and also on the same note, you know, when you're down a map against a team, it can be a little bit difficult to stay focused and really try to find the balance of not, being too aggressive.
Big rotation with the huge shatter onto dog turds. He's going down low and he's out of the map already. And that's a huge one fight with two ults invested, the shatter and the tire, but a definitive victory for another team kill. And they'll look to reset underneath the archway here, take a good advanced position.
Yeah, also, I don't know if you noticed, but that was Storm taking out the Pharah.
Really, I missed that with the tire. Yeah, you know,
Well,
never.
it was actually a mind finish off, but like either way, you know, it doesn't. You don't have to have anybody special.
Big shatter by dog turds, but saved by the lamp. Falls anyway though. 3 ults coming out now, both windows and barrage, and that's going to be a win for Izanami. But they only have 1 minute to push this next point. They're only halfway there. They lose one more fight, they're going to be in deep trouble. And especially with SwaggerSaur coming out here with freeze, it's going to be a tough fight.
And also with Grong with his fast charging ultimates, we also have Fury with just used another ultimate. Like, you know, Fury coming in here like just really putting the pressure on with the windows. It's going to be really difficult.
And here's the freeze, and they catch the Reinhardt. Lamp comes out. And they're taking this fight and they're going hard, and this looks very winnable at this point. May use Ice Block, May's out of the fight. Ryan very low. Ryan is 1. Mercy's the only one left now on point. The BAP up top. They're 5v3, and this looks like a very winnable fight. Mercy gets the res off on their dog turds there. Yeah, they're gonna try and back up and recontest, but they only have a few seconds left to recontest this cart. Gron's building another shatter here. They may have a lot of trouble even touching as they lose their BAP. I think that's going to be a huge problem. Big wall by Swag to keep the touch.
We got a tire coming in by Storm. We'll see. Oh, and Izanami's not going to make it.
They didn't make it there in time. Yeah, huge wall there, and having no healers supports with them at the time, I think really kept them from getting there. That's why the Lucio is so important to these brawl comps. If you swap that out for a pharmacy, you have a lot of trouble moving your main core around, and I think that the advantage of speed is what really helped Shake and Bake win that decisively.
Indeed. I see a comment in the stream, King's Row more like King's Throw Up. When I could tell how young of a person it is to Overwatch. King's Row is like you know, even going back to the original Reinhardt Zarya days, the Goats days, Kings Row is a staple map.
It is.
to
It is. A
Overwatch.
lot of people's favorites. That's my favorite map. I love the design of it, and I love that it's Reinhardt's map as far as I'm concerned. If you play anything else on there, you are breaking the sacred pact of tanks.
Indeed, indeed. It always makes me kind of make my insides turn whenever I see somebody leave the attacking spawn as a ball or a Ramatra or somebody else. It's just
God forbid Orisa.
Well, Orisa back in the day wasn't terrible because you had a shield, but now that she doesn't have a shield, it really doesn't benefit you that much.
She gets value by existing, though. All right, big push out here, and he dodges that
Nice
wall
bait.
expertly. So they have and they're on the Bastion. That's a sign of desperation, in my opinion. Ryan very low. Lamp has to come out very early. Maze caught out, has to use Ice Block as well. So they are down a ton of cooldowns right now, as Shake and Bake has lost nothing and are pushing into this with hard aggression. As out
Nice
comes
wall.
Lamps. Yeah. And they're looking to bait out turret form here, which they do. They'll be able to engage in a few seconds when that's out. Big rotation through Hotel. Big wall again to Ice to cut off the team, but I don't think they're going to make it out of here. They're going to
back it up and go man.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, who's going to shatter first is the question.
Through. Oh, and a big wall, big pin that takes out Grong, and that's going to be a lost fight. They look to reset.
And honestly, it took Izanami a couple times to get through, so I'm not necessarily concerned about it right now. We'll see how they play out here. A little bit of aggression on the spawn. I'm not sure that
pushing
that's
the
a
spawn door is
smart
dangerous.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes you one pick to just give the enemy team an advantage. If we had gone a Widowmaker there and had popped the head off of somebody, you would not be in a good position. Gron playing the gate, trying to watch out for a possible wall. Huge wall
He makes
coming
it
out.
through. Yeah, yep. Better wall from Swag, and now comes Window, and this is going to be big. Lamp has to come out quickly.
Maze,
They
the
kill the
Bastion
Bastion.
out.
Yeah, yeah. And with Shatter coming up,
Huge counter Shatter.
Beat gets invested.
So is
And here comes
Mazel.
second freeze, and Lucio's going to fall here. Ryan might fall too.
He's gonna fall.
And-
Grog makes it out.
Big play. They do invest Beat here just to be sure, which I can respect. And now it's just about keeping the recontest from happening.
Grog might be getting a little, greedy there, but you know what? He made it out. I'll give it to him. He can have that one.
He played that well. He used his health pool to get close to the Bastion and used his shield as his health was falling, and it worked out well for him. You got to play against turret Bastion smartly.
Indeed, indeed.
So
Window
Grong a little
coming
caught
out
out here with
for
the window,
Izanami.
and the wall he's going to lose is here. Yeah, that was a very good window, very good wall. He was caught out. No way of getting out of that one.
Got the victory fever.
That was an early window coming out by Izanami. I don't know that I would have been so aggressive coming out of point with it, but you know what? They want to fight out of it. They gave him a win, but honestly, Shake and Bake is pretty good about coming back with it. We've got Fury coming back with a window coming up pretty shortly here, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And I think the switch onto Cass and Hanzo is smart here. It really is able to take care of and burn and chip down the Bastion. And Swag caught out there, unfortunately, by a good wall by Izanami.
Indeed, indeed.
This is where fights get stalled a long time on this. This is a very small choke you're trying to get through, and it's hard to get the right angles.
Fury trying to get a good angle on the ultimate there.
Oh, huge shatter. Whose will be better? Lamp comes
I-
out. They're all very low health. There's a chance he can get this. Okay, yep. Unfortunately, it looks like Dog Turd Shatter was bigger
How about I try that again?
as both teams reset.
As a Reinhardt main, I feel like if you don't keep the enemy Reinhardt in front of you when you ult, it's really difficult to get a benefit out, because if you guys end up with the Shatter at the same time, it can be very difficult to benefit when your team is shattered behind you and the other enemy team is already getting back up.
Yeah, it's very true. You know, it's a difficult ult to know when to use. You know, you ideally want to capture a tank in it, but you got a big old shield in front of you. So as they speed high noon, lamp comes out.
Oh,
Bastion ult is big, 2 kills, and the rest of the team falls, and that's going to be another 1 fight for Izanami.
seems like Izanami's starting to find a little bit of a groove to make work for him. So we'll see what happens here.
Here with a cure.
Looks like they're going to take the shortcut through
Yeah.
Hotel.
Also bringing out their own Bastion.
Sometimes when you cheese it, you gotta. Oh!
Oh, big pick there, and Dragon
Huge
is massive.
window!
Yeah.
Between the dragon and the window, or the lamp that came out from Fury, really saved the team for the most part there, just keeping them up alive throughout that ultimate. And even though there were a couple stragglers getting some picks, it's getting really close here.
Absolutely.
If I was
And
Izanami at this point, I'd be shaking in my boots. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. And it's good to see them stuck in a position where they aren't able to make a lot of forward progress. Instead of continually banging their head on that main choke point, they take another rotation and it pays off for them.
Indeed.
Now only 50
We're gonna
seconds
see a window
left to
come
cap
out.
this, but it's going to be a big... There's another window from Fury, just lighting them up. And we're going to see a shatter from Grong here soon, I believe. Didn't quite make it through the shield, unfortunately. Both shatters blocked. Beat comes out.
Huge pick on the
Window comes, yeah.
Bastion.
Big pick, and Grong falls. So we're even right now, but missing a tank, and there goes SwaggerSaur, and the fight is over. They're going to have a quick reset to even touch here. So Grong switches over to ball so he can reach. With ball, I think they will have a touch here.
They might have. The enemy
maybe
team
a
might have been
back
pushed
cap.
out.
If he can kill this Lucio, this is going to be huge. And Bastion is unfortunately back from spawn. Grong needs to touch again. I'm not sure he realizes. No, he doesn't.
No, but honestly,
he had
it was
to get
one of
off
those things where he had a very, very fine needle to thread, and it was a little bit on the difficult side there.
True. He left about 8/10 of a second early for triggering overtime with that Bastion coming back. And, you know, unfortunately, that's just one of those unlucky spawn returns. They got there at the exact right time.
Huge ultimate.
Yeah, that was a massive fight turning ult. You know, if they had managed to accomplish that a bit earlier, they had a bit more time in the time bank. I think that would have been an easy win for them.
Indeed.
But now we're 1-1 going into the third map, so a good match so far.
Definitely makes you feel a little bit better that it's not just going to be a one-sided match, which sometimes it just happens to be like that, where you have games where you're too good for them. Sometimes they're too good for you. And honestly, the best games in my opinion is a good, well-balanced team where it doesn't feel like one team is winning too much higher than the other one. Because then you can kind of get to feel a little bit on the it just doesn't feel like you earned it. But honestly, this one, both teams earned it. Honestly, Shake and Bake with the previous map on Esperanca, Izanami coming on this one and making it work. They found a groove. They got the tracks in. Dog Turds really made an effort and just put his foot down and said, no, we're not going to stop here. We're going to push them back. And they honestly did a great job. They really did.
That's true, yeah. Coming into the defense phase with honestly being a bad situation, you know, second point is almost free on King's Road. It's very hard to contest there. So, them being able to stop even after first point falling was huge for them.
It's definitely a momentum change. That's something that is a bit difficult to make happen, but honestly, when it does happen, it really feels good. It really does.
Absolutely. So the third map picked by Shake and Bake. They're going to Junkertown. We're going to see that poke comp come out if I had to guess, and see really how they dominate the long range and mid range here. In the past, they've been really good about their Hanzo, their Ashe, their Widow on this maps with long sight lines. So we'll see if they capitalize on those picks early.
Honestly, I really feel like when it comes to if a team decides to go Sombra, on this map on attack. I feel like a seventh sense, or just this extra spider sense, if you will, on Storm just emerges, especially on this map. It feels like he has a Sombra detector.
I mean, technically he does.
I mean, he does, but honestly, it just
literally with sonar.
Sometimes it just feels like he's just looking in the right areas. He's really doing a great job on Hanzo as well. He hadn't really played a whole lot of Hanzo thus far. Swapping to Hanzo and getting that momentum attempted to get started back up for Shake and Bake. That dragon there really put them in a forward motion, and it was just the difficulty of not really getting a whole lot of value out of their ultimates there at the end on King's Row, where it just kind of made it a little difficult to come back from. But Storm, as suggested earlier, is definitely gonna be the one we're watching for picks.
Absolutely. His Hanzo in general is a feast or famine sort of character. Like when it's on, and when it's off, you feel terrible. You're missing everything. When he's on, he really dominates.
That he does. And now we're going to get into this. I believe Shake and Bake is attacking first. Let's see.
More than likely, yeah, since they picked the map. And Junkertown is a map that the team has a lot of experience on. They played a lot and they know how to play it. So hoping to see some smart positioning and early picks here to really get the cart moving fast.
Indeed. Let's see how this plays out. We're going to see the picks here in about 3 seconds. Let's see what they come up with. All right, we are seeing a Sig, Mercy, Zen, and a Hanzo and Widowmaker.
Yeah, no surprise there. And Shake and Bake does tend to run the Zen Mercy flavor of the poke comp, relying on more damage to counteract the need for heals. So you really are looking for Fury to get that Discord Orb on somewhere important, put out a lot of damage, break a lot of shield, and open up the map for her team rather than worrying about keeping her tank healed up. Damage is like healing, but it's you're taking it away from the enemy team instead of putting it into your own team.
Indeed. And SwaggerSaur coming out on the Widow, that'll be something that'll be interesting to see. Seeing Krispie, one of the other teammates for the team, be interesting to see what kind of picks Swagger can come out with on the Widowmaker here.
Izanami, big pick there on the Ashe real quick. It's going to get res though. Also running a Orisa, Junker, Mercy. And they're slowly being backed up by this. Yeah, a lot of damage being forced over that high ground, and they push up to capitalize off of it.
Swagger doing the honorable thing and pushing the payload while the rest of the team moves forward.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
We've all been there. That's for sure.
But Izanami has given up a lot of position. They're just now retaking the high ground.
We'll see if they can keep it up.
The payload advances as it should.
Grong really putting some pressure on him.
Yep, got the Junkrat very low as Yucatan pokes from the backside. Their big pick on the Junkrat there. We'll see if they can get the res off or not. Out comes the dragon, and that's going to be big too. And they all fall, and that's a huge one fight. Mercy's going to give herself up. They'll look for a stagger on her here, which you were absolutely allowed to do in tournaments. Scrims, it's frowned upon.
Oh, indeed. Especially spawn camping doors.
True. All right, so that's a well-won fight. Gronk almost has his ult already. And Storm had that ult real fast, so nobody was expecting that dragon to come out that early. And they kept first point. One fight one.
And Izanami on that one really played poorly in, being very, very sure to hold the stairs, giving Swag the opportunity to literally just rotate around them and get the picks that he needed to get, and he really didn't have any contest there.
Absolutely, yeah. They really didn't put any pressure on him, and he was able to capitalize on that. And that's a huge flux there, too. managed to get out of the range of the Sombra, and they're just going to keep pushing here. And Izanami's switching to a traditional dive comp to try and counteract this. It'll be interesting to see if they manage to get on top of the DPS here.
That was
Big
a
pick,
poor
that's gonna be-
positioning by the Anna. She was kind of just sitting there waiting to see where her team was, and honestly, just not a good place to hide. And
Oh, as the
wait for your
Sombra's caught
team.
out by a great guess, and
Oh my goodness!
Grong manages to pick her off, and that's going to be a huge stagger. They're losing almost this entire second point, waiting for their teammates to come back from spawn after getting staggered and picked.
Really, just a lot of bad choices when it comes to this.
Yeah. Nano goes on the monkey.
Oh my goodness!
Tracer and
The
Break
damage
both
coming
fall,
out.
and even with all these ults, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to hold here. Ana falls and then Monkey shortly thereafter, and that's 2 points capped really fast for Shake and Bake with almost 5 minutes in the time bank to cap third point.
Honestly, I feel like in this situation, Izanami just really is, you know, when they were playing the Winston, they were really thinking, okay, let's put pressure on the snipers. Let's really, oh,
Another
boy.
huge pick by Storm there on the Tracer. That's going to be big.
That's huge. But like the pressure that they had on, that they wanted to put on the snipers, they really couldn't get to that point before the damage just came out and really overwhelmed the back line.
Yeah, very much so. You know, usually a dive comp will let you overcome a poke comp, but if you're just constantly losing 1 or 2 players before the fight even begins, it's really hard to stop the momentum of that steamroll when the other team's getting that card progress. And out comes the Trank to make sure this Rhine dies here, and he will. Sleep from the Ana comes out. She falls on point 2. Lucio very low on point. Cass very low on point. And this can be another one fight for Shake and Bake as they push very close to the final cap.
Honestly, this is kind of a drastic difference when it comes to the real steamroll. This is, you know, more of a steamroll, whereas it felt like the King's Row is very even. You know, Izanami really had a great idea of what they were doing, and oh my goodness,
Yeah,
the
huge
damage
combo
coming
there. It's going
out.
to kill most of their team. That was an amazing dragon there that just is going to wipe the enemy team out, and they're going to cap here.
SwaggerSaur getting the picks he needed with Grong, really cornering that team into the corner. And that's just not a corner you want to be put into when the enemy team has ultimates that they can use, and it just really hurts you when you really don't put a whole lot of thought into what the other enemy team has, because if you don't keep up with the ultimates, it can be a really, really, really hard game to play, because the other team will always seem to have ultimates coming out of nowhere. So something where you have a good support, a great support player who's got the ability to keep track of ultimates really makes a huge difference on a team's play.
Absolutely, and they were able to counteract any ultimates that they brought out, and their own ultimates were very, very effective. If you tab in real quick, you'll see that Shake and Bake had 0 deaths all 3 fights at the points of that map, and they won fight after
Holy.
fight. It's pretty much 5 straight fights won. I don't think the cart really ever stopped moving, and they really capitalized on the pace of the match. They set the pace and they kept with it, and it was just impossible for Izanami to counteract them, no matter what they tried. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring out here on attack. But rolling into this with 3 minutes on the clock with a full cap, it's going to be really, really hard to match that.
It's going to be interesting to see if Shake and Bake can really match what they put out on the attack and really channel that into a defensive position, really play smart. Because it's one thing to play aggressive and push the point, but when you have to defend, it can be a little bit of a jarring experience when you're having to sit put in one area. So we'll have to see how this plays out.
Interesting effect with the new on fire system coming back into Overwatch 2. Grong caught on fire the second the spawn doors open for some reason.
Interesting. Great pick on dog turns by Storm.
Huge pick. They lose their tank already. We have an interesting combo with the Widow. Usually they get an early pick, but she's sticking with it for a while, so it's going to be taking most of their fights 4v5.
And I think we're hearing some positioning of the Sombra, so that might be a little bit on the difficult side to put some pressure in against the enemy team if they know where you're at.
Very true, very true. And Widow gets picked by SwaggerSaur there. The Ashe winning that battle, which is a tough one to win.
It is a really, really difficult position to be in when you have a tank who literally just got to the fight and you're already picked and dead. Now your team has to wait for you. They really can't push the payload a whole lot without the concern of getting their heads popped off. So it'll be interesting to see how we pull out of this.
Definitely big pick on the Sombra there. Stops the momentum from progressing, and they are getting a little bit. There's another pick right there on the Widow, and quickly, Izanami is down to 3 players for this fight, even though they look strong going into it with what looked like was going to be a strong pick. And they're choosing to back up, recontest.
In a great situation by Swag, who literally, as the monkey had jumped in, had the ability to use his coach gun to push the tank off of the high ground there, and really made his jump ineffective.
Absolutely. You know, as a casual monkey player, the Ashe coach is my kryptonite. It ruins an entire engagement with just one shift. So Izanami continues to poke around with the cart stalled out underneath the bridge here, but they're going to really need to figure out a way to capitalize on some of their forward positions and take out some of these players, because right now it's just big pick there by SwaggerSaur on the Sombra.
Oh, not
and
a
Widow
very
manages to
smart
catch
pick.
one. Yeah. Yeah. Res comes off, so they are full strength again.
Swag kind of playing a little bit on the greedy side of things to try to get a position. Oh,
Absolutely huge pick by Storm on the Widow while she is grapple shotting. That is a hard shot to hit, and he just dinks her right out of the air.
especially as Hanzo, that can be even harder because it doesn't always go where you want it to go. When you can
He gets
line
another
it up,
pick on the Ana.
Oh, I feel like at this point it's going to be really difficult for Izanami to get any kind of momentum going unless they get a pick. They have to get picks.
Very true, and they're going to have to really invest a lot of ultimates here with the clock kicking down to 45 seconds, and not even close to capping this first point here.
I think the key here will be, okay, never mind. I was going to say maybe to, oh, nice
Pick on the
finish
Pharah,
there.
pick on the Monkey, and 3 down very quickly, and it's cleanup again, going into this final fight with 2-3 ults.
Wow. Really only used the Valkyrie here, and Grong being aggressive, really doing a great job of just trying to, keep the pressure that his team is putting out up.
Absolutely, they're cutting off all the angles here, and out comes out Nano on the Monkey. Grung managed to catch and kill the Ana, and now he goes after the Moira, and very quickly they're losing control of this last fight here. Stora Dragon comes out, and that's it. That's going to be it.
Honestly, really
A decisive
impressed.
victory.
Really impressed with the DPS of this team, just really putting a huge amount of pressure and just really giving Grong the ability to feel like he can just do whatever he wants. And speak of Grong, play of the game. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's huge third point flux here into the Dragon, just cutting everyone off and putting a ton of damage out. They just really had no chance there. They just really dominated this map. It was no contest.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty difficult to come off of a first point hold pretty much and then get steamrolled on the enemy attack. That's a bit difficult, not gonna lie.
For sure. Also, just one death on Shake and Bake's side on both sides of that map. SwaggerSaur falling only once, which got rezzed instantly, and that was a single pick by the Widow.
Impressive gameplay by Shake and Bake. Really proud of them. I feel like they've really got something going here with the team that they have. No games are always going to be perfect, but you know what? When you have games like this where the games can be a bit even and you find a groove, you stick to it, and you play as a team and make it work. On that, on the Hanzo kill with the Widowmaker, Swagger had gotten a shot in, and all Storm had to do was touch him, and they just made it work. They literally, their focuses were on the same thing. They were both watching for him. The Widowmaker just played right into Storm and Swag's big plan there, and I'm really proud of them for doing that.
Absolutely. You know, the target focus has been really, really great on all three of these maps, but especially there, you really saw the team focusing down isolated targets and getting the picks that they needed to really dominate these fights. And the early picks were just huge. They just really, Izanami didn't have a chance to capitalize on anything there, and they didn't have a chance to build any sort of momentum going into that attack, and they fell very quickly and decisively.
They did, and honestly, when it's something like getting in and getting picked early, that is, it's just like I had said earlier, it's a really difficult thing to come back from because you feel like all your momentum going forward has just literally put a peg in the ground and said, no, stop, you're staying right here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. It hurts to lose a player before a fight's even started. You know, you know you're going in there at a disadvantage already, and a second pick, you might as well just call the match over, or the fight over at that point. With this 5v5, picks are so important. You know, used to be able to win a 5v6 in Overwatch 1, but you lose, especially using support, and definitely if you lose a tank, really, really difficult to win a short-sighted fight in this new game, quote unquote new game.
Definitely a quote unquote there. Maybe that's the reasoning behind going from the 6 to the 5-man teams, is they feel like you could definitely still come back from it. So they eliminate the possibility of that hold on mentality. Let's just muscle through this, and making it a little more difficult to hold on to a team fight. So once a team fight goes in one direction, unless you use every ultimate in your arsenal, you're really not going to have a chance of keeping a momentum in your way if you're the one who is down a player.
Absolutely. And that's giving them a lot of credit by saying that. I think that they took one tank out of the game because DPS queues were 10 minutes plus, and it was a way to solve that.
Indeed. And honestly, the pretty awesome gameplay by Sheprime, coming out with the reses and keeping it exciting with the reses. That just makes it really, really a huge benefit, especially with Ashe. The ability to make that, you know, the ability to damage boost the Ashe and really just give Ashe a near Widow-like quality really definitely opens up the opportunities for being able to cancel dives, especially when Widow is so dive prone, if you will.
True. If she uses her grapple, she is a sitting duck with only 175 health and very, very. I won't say the SMG is bad because it does a surprising amount of damage, but very easy to get on top of Widow and kill her.
Indeed.
Now this is an interesting conversation going on here. They've picked Eichenwalde as a hybrid map. Apparently correct me if I'm wrong. They say that the order is control hybrid, escort hybrid, control. But didn't they play a push map first?
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yes. All right. So he must have meant push, and he was just saying it wrong. But
yeah, he's got control. He's got control on the mind.
yeah. All right. Well, it's an interesting format then. But here we're going into another hybrid map with Eichenwalde, another map that Shake and Bake plays a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic map at that. Definitely seen some interesting strategies come from this map with the Doomfist rollouts, with the Maysim teleporting strat that had happened back in the day. I can't say that I am not guilty of doing a couple of those to unsuspecting teams, and in fact won a tournament match by doing a May wall TP because the enemy team had no idea we were there, and by the time that they realized they had to get on point, the game was over.
Oh, you did it in overtime. That's smart. So yeah, I believe it's still possible to do that.
Not the classic one, at least not that I've seen so far. I believe it might be possible, but for the most part, they with the map, redesigning, if you will, to fit within the Overwatch 2 engine. It really they kind of took out a lot of possibilities. You could still have the movement that you had before there, but they've really made it difficult for Maywalls to exist in environments like that anymore.
Interesting. Okay, well, maybe I could have sworn I saw it on Overwatch too, but maybe it was a bug that they patched, a quote unquote bug, whatever.
An,
Um,
an unfortunate bug that was patched.
right. So going into Eichenwalde, we're going to see. I expect to see brawl from both sides come out on this. You don't see poke played a lot here. You don't see a ton of dive played until second point. So I expect some very close up melee fights.
Yep, and also we're seeing the defense coming out by Shake and Bake. At least that's what they're asking for. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I felt Izanami literally just groan in their boots when they heard defense was not going to be theirs.
Yeah, I think they've got their backs up against the wall here, and coming out of that last map, they're gonna really have to, fix their mental and focus on dominating. If they cannot be passive, they have to take the aggressive stance, or they're gonna lose this, facing elimination 2-1 on this fourth map here.
Yep. So we'll see how this goes. They are changing the spectators and the teams. It looks like we are about to get the third map underway. This could be a final map for this evening, but it could also be a win for Izanami, and to give them a second chance to really like it. In a situation like this, you really have to ask yourself and your team, what do we really want to win this? Do we really want to make this happen? And honestly, sometimes the resolve there, if you want to continue, can really change a team fight.
Yeah, it is. Video games are mental. Just like any other sport, it's important to have strong mental acuity, I would say, I guess. And if you I've been guilty of it myself. You get tilted, you start playing poorly, and the worse you play, the worse you play. It's really hard to turn that around. You go into a spiral.
And I've been there as well, and it is definitely not a fun place to be in.
Yeah.
I can't say that I haven't been close to wanting to punch my monitor, but honestly, as with the budget that I have, you tend to move past the aggression towards a device that literally only reflects your ability to play the game. So it's something that you have to, take into consideration. I know with some people it just kind of spikes out, but you know what? With this map and where Izanami is right now, they have to be aggressive. They have to put in the work to make this a possibility for a win on this map.
Absolutely. If anything less than a full cap is going to be a lot of trouble for them.
Indeed. An easy, quick start for Shake and Bake if they can get the win in. Looks like they're going to have Reinhardt, May.
Yeah, versus the Ram. And that first wall is a waste, and looking to rotate and capitalize on their positioning, which is a little odd. And big pick by Grong there first on the BAP. That's going to turn things around. Both supports now down. And this is a quickly and instantly won fight here. Just cleanup now.
Wow, that honestly, spectating Grong for that literally just said, Reinhardt, I don't give a care about you. I'm going for your supports. Literally went into just focus the supports, wipe them off of the map, and really gave his team an opportunity to just worry about cleaning up the rest of the team fight. And Storm and Swag really did a great job of doing that, as the supports really focused on keeping Grong up.
Absolutely. Interesting to see the way they're using the walls here to give their team a path to go in instead of isolating any enemy targets. But they have managed to get some point presence here, so it did work out. Ryan versus Ram is a tough matchup because every 8 seconds he has an ability that basically makes your shield useless. And quickly COVID, I like to call it, comes out, and we're going to see them fall again. Even after that strong position, quickly the entire team of Izanami goes down.
I honestly, I've played against Rams, and honestly, a good Reinhardt will have Shatter ready for that and just really push the team push the Ramatra out of it. But it's really difficult to go to play against that, especially if you have a team that is like really keeping you alive and enabling you. A team enabling you is a huge win.
Hey, make the same rotation again as Gron comes in behind. Lamp has to come out really early, leaving them with almost nothing defensively to protect them as their BAP falls again. Shatter on nothing. They do lose their Kiriko, so this might be an interesting recontest here. And another falls Storm here. And quickly, Grong's the last one left on point. He can manage to take out the tank. That's going to be huge. Can he clutch up here? Oh, there is no Wraith on the Reaper, and he takes it out. That is a huge clutch up play. Massive MTD as Grong saves the team from losing their first point here.
Honestly, I feel like in this situation we kind of underrated Grong and the ability to really enable to be the playmaker for this team. And while his team is still there behind him, like, you know, Storm's making picks, you know, Swag is making decisions. It's just really. He's doing a great job. Out comes Lamp again.
And Grong already has another ult built up. Oh, they managed to cap there. That is unfortunate. Just a bad point control. I'm sure they realized that they just had that one tick to give up. That was an easy to win fight. And unfortunately, they ended up losing it there just because, you know, you cap. What can you do?
Not much in that situation, but you know what? Izanami really did a great job of focusing on what they needed to do. Shake and Bake might have gotten a little ahead of themselves and getting past, but you know, really did a great job.
Absolutely, and a really smart positioning. We see a lot of ults come out. Almost the entirety of Shake and Bake dead, but Grong again with his COVID manages to take out 3, and Izanami quickly retreating. You know, and the best thing about this is it stopped that momentum that they had going. The card progress completely stopped. Now they lose a huge stagger on their tank. If they can keep Grong alive here, this is going to be massive. And yeah, very quickly, Izanami's going to have to take a fight with no tank, and it's not going to be easy for them here.
Pressure from Grong coming out, trying to really put some of power into the. This is going to be
Lamp comes out again, and yeah, Grong does fall there. A little forward in advance, although he gets beat out, which is actually a really great trade right there. There's going to be another fight before it caps second point, and now Izanami will have to do it without their beat. And we got another COVID coming up, and we got a high noon. They really are going to have a strong fight with good ults. Will allow them to take this back and keep from second cap happening right now.
Yep, and also with and that's a poor Shatter.
No one, yeah. And Grong might fall again. They can't keep him up. Very tough. He's got that. Oh, he's just tuckering in, hoping he can get some healing from his team. Lower and lower, but he is managing to live somehow through all of that, and just like that, suddenly the entire fight turns. That was insane.
Oh, that was honestly one of the biggest brain plays ever that I just watched there. Grong literally able to hold the point from moving forward, and his team kept him alive. They were able to put the pressure they needed, and once he was able to let COVID take its course, the Izanami was not able to hold up to that.
Absolutely. 85 health almost the entirety of that fight. And Grong might not make it out here. No, great cleanse there by Fury, and he's going to make it out. Really going to have to stuff this choke really hard as Window comes out. Reaper very low on Izanami. He might fall. There goes Storm falling, and looks like we're looking for another Grong carry here. He manages to get 2, not enough, and they will cap this point. Second point here. Moving
nice
into
to
third
see some aggression coming out from Izanami as well. Just not, taking that mentality of that they really have to get the pressure put on Shake and Bake here to get a win in.
Absolutely. Their rotations are tight. Their formations, they're playing really close together, and they're following each other well. You can tell the comms are very good. It's just a matter of who gets the most damage out there.
Not sure what we have in ultimates on. And that's going to be a shutdown.
Yeah. And COVID comes out again. There's a shatter. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to turn this around. Even with Grong falling now, there's still only 3. Ryan very low. Storm trying to get around his shield, and he's back to full health. And there comes out Rush now. This will be a huge fight to win right now. If they can get their Ryan quick and prevent a recontest from happening. Sheprime falls, and there no Wraith on the Reaper right now. Big pick there by the Mei. Storm falls, and they really need to get back on here. They need to invest some ults and recontest here. Another big pick on Fury there. Dragon comes out from Storm, which is a smart way to contest payload here. As the clock ticks down to 45 seconds, it's going to be tough for them. Storm switches over to the Tracer, and it's going to be imperative to get this into overtime. Freeze comes out. That looks like it's catching a lot. Reaper, Cass.
Good
Cass
finish.
falls. Yep. 30 seconds on the clock now, and Storm is looking to capitalize on that. He gets Reaper down, and that's another pick on Reaper, and they're going to have to back up. They're not going to be able to get this cap. Lamp comes out.
Watching out for the back cap, too.
Yeah. That is true, although Lucia would have to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Only 12 seconds. They're going to have trouble touching here. Shake and Bake smartly moving their way out and contesting on the bridge instead of allowing them to make their way in. And I don't think they get a touch here. Nope.
Nice. Good pressure from Shake and Bake, really putting the ball in Izanami's court and trying to get back to the payload there.
Absolutely. Clutch freeze by Swag on the Mei there. That was huge. That enabled them to really get 2 picks really quickly, put the enemy team on their back foot, and eventually just clear them out completely and keep them from touching. Without that, I think they lose their point.
Yep, and it will be interesting to see what kind of picks we see outcoming for Shake and Bake here. Not sure if they're going to run what they ran on defense. We'll see how they go here. And it looks like we're going to see the same thing, pretty much.
With how Grong dominated on Ram against that team, I'm not surprised he's rolling out on that. Really a strong character right now, even with the Junker Queen meta we just got out of. Ram was always a strong pick, and continues to be that.
It's really interesting how we find these metas.
Yeah, you know, it's they don't always make a whole lot of sense, but it's generally Overwatch accidentally buffs somebody too much.
Indeed. Out of the compositions, or the team compositions that we have played in the history of Overwatch, what would you say is your favorite one?
I mean, Overwatch, back to Overwatch 1, I loved the Rush Brawl with Ryan Zarya. It was so fun to just be able to enable a Ryan to just swing like crazy and just have an immense amount of damage as the Zarya. You know, you're always full charge with the amount of aggression that the Ryan is soaking up, and it was just a blast. Interesting comp from Izanami here, running the Orisa and Bastion again, but then they're also doing that pharmacy thing. And Gronk barely manages to get out of that, but based on search form and Bastion falls. Mercy looking for the res, but she's not going to be able to get it with Gronk in position. Orisa very low, she falls as well, and now it's just cleanup, and they're going to take this first point really quick.
Great movement by Shake and Bake, being patient, waiting for the plays. Watching out for the Pharah. It's easy to get a pick or get picked by an enemy Pharah when they're being damage boosted. It's really difficult to, keep your sanity there.
If you're not a tank, it's 2 shots and one doesn't even have to be direct. So you very quickly, you don't even realize you're dead before you're dead.
Indeed. Seems like we are gonna get a Bastion on there. No, they had the Bastion. Never mind. So
yeah, they did have the Bastion. Yeah.
Looks like not much of a change. But
a big barrage coming in. Yeah. They'll get some free card push though as Grong fights here. Just he might pick this Pharah here. Nope, doesn't quite make it. And so that just becomes time to die point. Orisa really deep in Jacob Bake's spawn, and Grong really needs to die here, unless he makes it out. All right, never mind. Grong does not need to die. Here's going to trade tanks. Not even trade tanks. Almost capitalizes on that and kills the Orisa. We have a high noon come out from SwaggerSaur. Not sure it's going to get anyone, but it will clear off the point and give him some space to work. They wait for their Lucio to come back.
Nano coming out too, possibly. Who would you nano in this situation?
I would nano the COVID from the Ram. Honestly, it makes what's like a little tickle damage. Oh, big picks there. They're losing 2 on the pharmacy, and that's going to be a tough at this point. They're gonna have to figure that out. Whether they switch to hit scan or
Not finished.
Any changes from Shake and Bake, and it looks like yes, we're
It's
gonna get
double
a
hit
soldier
scan.
double hit
Yeah.
scan on this one.
I think
I would
very much
laugh.
we're going to be looking for a nano ram ult here coming in as this fight happens.
But are they gonna make it inside the door?
They need to bait out turret form from this bastion. That's going to be the key. Bar over there looking for a barrage. Lucio gets picked, but they managed to get her. Now whether the Mercy gets the res off or not, that's going to determine whether this is a good fight or not. Oh, huge pick there. They lose their pharmacy. Bastion on point now, drilling down on Grong, and he does fall, but they're going down their pharmacy. They can recontest this quick. It's going to be an easier fight for them.
For those that are watching, right now we are at a 2-1 score in favor of Shake and Bake. This map is currently in favor of Shake and Bake, but in favor of Izanami. So we will see how that goes.
Interesting, and Grong throws away the ram ult to switch to Diva and hopefully counter this Bastion poke comp a little bit more. And it seems to be kind of working. They're giving away a lot of space. They're letting it go around this corner, which is a keyhole.
Huge. Good pressure being put on. The res coming up on SwaggerSaur, but SwaggerSaur is gonna be lost.
And Bar gets nanoed here. Grong almost picks the Mercy, manages
Nice
to get her.
pick on the Mercy.
If he
He
get to
might
that health
pay
pack,
for this.
very
We'll see.
smart. Yeah, he might. He does lose mech here, and he's out. Really gonna have to shift the momentum here and Shake and Bake Cider. They're not gonna be able to cap this. They got two fights before they really start to worry about this, and they need to win both of them.
Yes. Let's see here. Kind of pressure that they can bring out here. Honestly, the Pharah needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the key. Nice barrage coming in to kill Storm. And Bob comes out. If they can pinch here with a bomb, this might be a huge bomb.
Oh!
It is huge. Amazing combination there. Really just kind of insane. They come in to kill Storm, and wow, that was just insane. The Bob pinched them from going into there and getting away from that bomb that he threw perfectly, and it just instant team death. That's gonna give them momentum they need to hopefully cap this point as we tick down to the 1 minute mark.
Getting the pressure out on this Orisa here.
Big cleanse on that nade. And
Ooh,
wasted ult there,
shutdown.
huge. And Visor
Is this
comes
a-
out to get a pick on the Pharah. Bastion falls, and even with the res, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to touch here. They managed to touch.
Where is gonna go?
Yeah.
Nice.
And they wasted Valk there too, so they don't have that going into this next fight. They've lost their Orisa ult. They switch over to Mei now, so they're really going to be holding third point here on switch over to Moira too. So they're really just the Bastion might have an ult. That's it.
Yeah, and we also got to watch out. Grong's going to be building up another ultimate here. So right now you need to keep him alive. Let him get that ultimate, because this point here is dangerous for a Diva Bomb.
Very much. So Nano comes out on the Orisa. Huge cleanse from Fury there. As Nano wears out with no
Huge
kills, they
Matrix
can push
too.
back in. Yeah. Storm falls to the Orisa. They counter back to pick on the Moira, and then SwaggerSaur falls. So, and then a pick on the Ana. Suddenly, someone switched. They're carrying this momentum into the fight. Even what looked like a lost fight might be won. May no ice block. Gets almost crushed there. Bastion ult comes out. The Mei might fall here.
And he's going to fall.
big, and they quickly
Ooh.
capitalize on that. Here out comes Lamp too, so they won't have that, and suddenly it's a 5v2 as the rest of Shake and Bake comes back to this fight without Izanami able to win that fight, even up 3.
Really putting the pressure in. Bob coming out, putting in an
Huge
insane
Bob.
amount of pressure.
It's going to be really tough for them to touch here,
and that's
it.
game.
51 elims by Grong on that map. Absolute decisive main tank difference. Storm with 30 elims, Swag with 33 elims. The whole team just really carried that fight.
Wow. Wow. Huge plays by both teams. Izanami really coming out, doing a great job putting the pressure in initially to make Shake and Bake really focus and say, you know what, we need to win this. Let's get our acts together and let's finish this up. And they did a great job.
Absolutely, and that play of the game by by Grong there, that was a huge play. Literally facing down 5 people on the enemy team with only a Lucio to heal him, he manages to turn that fight around by himself essentially.
Yep, and there was also that Diva Bomb too, which was a huge turning point for Shake and Bake. Oh my
Absolutely
goodness.
massive. Yeah, whether that was intentional or not, the placement of the bob followed by the bomb was just chef's kiss. It was perfect, and that really turned the entire fight around. Without that, they might not have kept second even.
No, they wouldn't. And honestly, props to Shake and Bake. Really doing a great job tonight. Bringing it out, showing up, and having fun. Honestly, this is, that's what games are all about, is having some fun. Honestly, we can get sweaty here and there, but really great job. Really, really, really great job.
Absolutely, and that has to feel good coming in to establish now, I guess you could call it, a streak. 2 is a streak technically, right?
Yeah, sure. A short streak, a short one.
The shortest possible streak, but they are on a two-game winning streak now to advance further into round 5 of this summer showdown put on by the International Overwatch League, and look forward to seeing the next match. Hopefully they can carry some momentum into it and get another win.
That would be awesome. And honestly, I just want to say a huge thank you to those watching. Another huge thank you to Nick being my buddy tonight, giving me somebody to talk to instead of just sitting here having a conversation with myself and really honestly questioning my sanity at that point.
It is tough to cast by yourself. I do not envy anyone that has to do it. I'm glad to join you. I've never done it before. So it was fun. At least I was doing something instead of just watching.
Exactly. And honestly, casting when done correctly just turns into just an elaborate conversation that just really honestly doesn't have a place that you can put breaks to unless you're just flabbergasted by a 4K Diva Bomb that just really just turns the fight around.
That was speechless. Both of us just kind of paused. I saw it coming, but I wasn't expecting that much out of it. I knew it was going to be big.
We knew the bomb was going to be very, very, very valuable if placed properly. And because it was placed properly, it just sent the casters into a state of shock. And honestly, I couldn't have picked anybody else better to do it with as my former teammate, MyDadDotCom. Honestly, great having you here. I really appreciate you. And we'll hopefully see some people on the next game. Maybe we'll get to do this again.
Absolutely, man. It'd be fun. Oh, real quick, who are your MVPs for each team?
Oh, honestly, I feel like it really gets put into a situation, and I'll ask you the same question following. I honestly have to go with the tanks this game. Really didn't see a whole lot of activity. The fair kind of really put some power in Izanami's playing field, but honestly, Dog Turds really did a great job of putting the pressure on and really focusing down Grong and team in tow. And honestly, the same for Grong. Grong really going out there, knowing you kind of see a situation where Grong knows the ability or what Ramatra can take in that last game and really push the limits, let's be honest. And
yeah,
the fact that he had his teammate beside him, keeping him alive the entire time, it just really gave him a lot to play with. And so for me, I'm going to have to say the tanks this round, Grong and Dog Turds. What about you?
Absolutely, I would agree with you there. I would agree with you there. Definitely like I think that that third map especially was very tank reliant, and both tanks really like dominated. You had Dog Turd on the Orisa just really holding a lot of strong positions, and keeping Shake and Bake from advancing a lot. And really, with that pharmacy in the air, it's tough to be isolated like that. And they held their ground really well until the very end there. And against some clutch ultimates are really the only difference between them winning and losing that map.
Agreed, and honestly, some butt puckering moments there towards the end for Shake and Bake, not knowing the certainty of getting whether they were going to get picked off again, and whether they were going to push forward and not let it, whether they were going to let it go into a fifth map or if it was going to be a fourth and final map. And I'm just honestly glad that it worked out in their advantage. Honestly, greatly want to thank Izanami for being great sports about the entire game process. They did a great job being a lobby. They kept their act together, and honestly, regardless of what goes on in the team comms, the fact that they don't have loose lips, sinking ships, if you will, was definitely a huge notch on their belt for being a good sport.
Absolutely. I think through and through this was a good matchup. We almost saw map 5. Both teams were really strong, and it was definitely not boring. Both sides really tried their best, and they put a lot into it, and you could see all of that sweat on the battlefield.
Agreed. And with that, you know what? We're going to go ahead and close it off here. Thank you guys for watching. Sheprime, glad to see you in the chat. Congratulations on the win. Honestly, great job, Shake and Bake. Shake and Bake Esports is very proud of you guys doing a great job and really honestly showing what Shake and Bake Esports is, that we're serious. We're out there for a win. We're out there to make a name for ourselves, and we're doing that. And Nick, thanks again.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Sammy. Do it again soon.
Will do. And you guys have a great night.